What is up, everybody? Jake O here today. And I want to talk about 5 things that I really dislike about Texas. And there are things that I disliked about Florida. But coming up on my 3 months anniversary since I've moved to Texas with my family, and I can't say that I expected a lot more, but I kind of did. And I don't know if I can say I regret my decision to move here, but it's a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. Now, let me get into it. First, the main reason why I moved here was the same house that I kind of like. First of all, they don't really build the same style in Florida as they do here in Texas. Like, the houses here are like really tall. They have double high ceiling areas. Like my ceiling height is 11 feet in most areas, and then I have a double high ceiling that's 20 feet in some areas. So there's different things that they build. Now, there's also a lot of things that they do that kind of defeats the purpose. Now, like, my upstairs has like 6.5 foot door height. My bathrooms have double doors that are really small. They're like 2 halves that go into each other, and they don't lock. They're fixed handles and they're knobs. And then in my office and in my movie room are also fixed with 2 doors that are smaller than a regular size door. So there's just a lot of areas that I consider it cheaping out, and it seems like all the builders are doing it. It's not just one specific builder, so it might be a style in Texas. So that has to be the first thing that I really dislike, is how they cheap out on things and the build quality. I mean, I watch houses be built here, and literally they built like a slab in 1 day or maybe 2 days. Between pouring the slab and doing 1 day, 2 days. They put up the wood 1 day, 2 days. And then they start putting, more wood. So everything here is just like a slab and just everything wood. And I even saw them do the roof. The roof's just wood, and then a shingles on top of it, of the cheapest kind of shingles. And I'm used to seeing houses being built with it's not like straight up concrete, but it's like they're hollow inside. Not really hollow fully, but I guess you would call them cinder blocks. I don't know. So that's how they build them in Florida. I understand, probably because of hurricane purposes, but that's just what I'm used to. And then stucco on the outside, and here it's just usually on the upstairs it's just wood siding, and then they do brick on the outside of like most of all of the bottom floor on my home. So that's that. And then windows itself, we have dual pane windows, and I'm so used to impact windows that reduces the sound from outside, reduces the sunlight that's coming in from the outside, so your house doesn't get as hot and you're not burning through your windows. So those are things I'm used to. I hope that guy's not shooting things. That's what I'm used to. So the build quality is one thing that I'm very disappointed in overall. And the heck is that dead animal? Number 2 has to be lack of ocean. Now, I thought this wouldn't be a problem. I thought maybe I'll go down to like Galveston or something once in a while and go to the ocean. But I heard nothing good about the beaches in Texas. Like, absolutely nothing good. Where I lived, I literally lived 20 minutes from the beach where I used to live in Florida. And then when I lived with my parents, I only lived 10 minutes from the beach. And then I only lived like 30 minutes from Juno Beach, which is one of the most beautiful beaches in Florida. And the water is like crystal clear blue. So being away from the beach, I didn't think would bother me. But now that I think about it, I actually enjoy going to the beach maybe once a month, and so on. So that's number 2. Number 3 has to be the weather. I moved here right after winter was ending. There was a few cold days, 40, 50. Didn't really bother me, right? And then when I started to hear about, you know, the freezing that happened the year before and how I have to prep my house, and my house isn't covered, the warranty doesn't cover if a water pipe breaks in my house, it's considered maintenance. Like, it made me think. And then I come into summer here, and now summer's here, and it's freaking 100 degrees every single day. Like, we can't go outside until like 8:30 at night because it's just too hot. It's too goddamn hot to go outside. Like, if I go outside, I'm going to the pool. That's it. Like, you can't be outside for too long, and that's so scary. It's 100 degrees. It feels like 107. It's hot. Like, nothing can live outside. My grass is dying. My dogs don't want to be outside. Nobody wants to be outside. And you would think Florida's hot, but no. Like, every time I check here and it's 100 degrees, Florida's like 86, 87, 88 with some clouds. I'd rather have clouds and be 86, 87, 88 than be 100 degrees. Now, I get it. Yeah, you actually get seasons here versus Florida. It's like never cold. But I'm not complaining that it didn't get 40, 30, 20 in Florida. That didn't bother me. Where here, you know, it might go down into the 30s, and then you got to deal with houses that are not built for freezing temperatures. Like, well, we didn't expect that to happen in Houston. Okay, so you guys build houses now. What did you guys do to change that? Absolutely nothing, because we don't expect it to happen again. Okay, so you're not preparing yourself for it. Like, come on, right? So that has to be number 3, is the weather. So number 4 has to be getting around. There's no, like, the closest thing, like, they have like an I-10 that's always busy, always being worked on, so goofy, where I used to have the 95 and Turnpike right near my house, and it was so easy to get on and get off and get where you need to go. Where I'm in a community, I'm in the back of my community, it takes me almost 7 minutes to my first light to get to my gym. Now, there's other areas that you can go, but this way towards my gym, it's almost 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes just to get out of my community, because it's 35 miles an hour. You can't go over the speed limit. They take that so seriously here. You can't not fully stop at a stop sign. Again, they take that so serious here. So it just, like, if something says it's 3 miles away, prepare to take 10 minutes to get there. And it's frustrating because, like, we used to love going to Longhorn, which was right by my house. It's like literally a mile away. We love Longhorn, even though it's not like the healthiest food for you. And our closest Longhorn is like 15 miles away now, 12, 13 miles away. And we went there a few days ago for the first time, and there was an accident, because there's always accidents there. It took us like 45 minutes, 50 minutes to get there. It was just absurd. It just takes so long. So I really miss having a 95 and a Turnpike that goes up the state and, you know, goes west of the state. Or here, it's just like, you know, I could be like sitting here and nitpicking and all this other stuff, but I have to think of my 5th thing. But I want to talk about something. Like, I moved, like I said, I never finished what I started here. I moved here because the same house that I wanted is at least $100,000 more in Florida at the time. I sold my house in Florida because, 1, I made good money on it, and 2, we only had 2 bathrooms, and I just didn't feel that was enough, and I didn't have any area to work and feel comfortable and stuff. And I, you know, even though my house is 1,300 square feet bigger, and I have my own separate room to work in, I still don't feel comfortable. I don't know how I would feel comfortable. Maybe if I was on, like, I don't know, I feel like I need some type of outhouse or something, or casita or whatever, because I don't think I'll ever be able to feel comfortable working on cam and being able to hear my kids upstairs or my baby crying or whatever. It's just not fully comfortable for me. So then I got my parents to sell their house in Florida, and because of the pandemic, they literally probably made $200K more than they would have pre-pandemic. So I helped them sell their house, and now they're renting in Texas and paying next to like $2K a month for their home, which is not the cheapest thing in the world, but you have all this money saved in equity from your house, and it gives them a kind of a platform to retire which is really, really good. So these people are crossing it out. So that's good, and I'm helping them out as well. But the main goal was to buy a home that can fit my parents into it. And I know that's not the easiest thing. My parents are very hard to get along with. They don't get along with each other. But if I can, fucking people with a Lamborghini. You see that Lamborghini? Look at that thing. Damn, rich people, man. That's crazy. That's so nice, though. Oh, goodness. I'd buy one, but I'd be living in it. So, damn, people wear hella makeup going to the gym. So, what I was saying is I'm trying to find a house that I can incorporate my parents. And the house I looked at before this was a 3-story house, 7,900 square feet. And I was going to buy it, but there was issues that the mother, the owner, was getting a divorce from her husband, and her husband had say on the house. It was a trustee this, trustee that, and I couldn't wait for it because my house was already sold and that situation, blah, blah, blah. So that didn't work out, but that would have been such a better situation. And now I'm in a situation where I'm just like, what am I going to do to get, my parents in a home? And now interest rates are 6%. I just spoke to these mortgage people yesterday. 6% interest rates, and house prices only have gone down a little bit. But here's the problem: if my house goes below what I paid for, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to end up staying there, and then I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with my parents. So right now, my mom legit hates it here. She wants to go home despite her granddaughter being here. So my mom might be going back in April and staying with my grandmother or whatever, and then my dad might move in with me, and I might just stay in my home. But it's like I'm trying to figure it all out. I have a 5th reason, and I forgot it, and I'll write it in my comment section below because it sucks, because I know there's another reason of something that I don't like and I forgot about it. But I think that's it for now. I at first, the first week here, I hated it. Then I started to enjoy it more. And now I'm just there's so much construction going on in my neighborhood, but it's that I know the last one. There's so much construction going on in my neighborhood. My old house, we had a nice neighborhood. It was gated and everything. And it felt okay to let my kids outside and play with their friends and hang out up front without having to be sitting there watching them. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just I don't feel comfortable letting my kids go up front and stay there, and because there's so many workers and stuff, and I don't know, it feels different. Not only that, they don't have as many friends right now. There's 2 girls across the street that my daughter's friends with, and not only that, it's so hot. It's how do you go outside when it's so hot? So they can't even play. So lastly, it has to be about taxes, right? Property tax. A lot of people are like, oh, well, there's no income state tax. There wasn't one in Florida either, so I'm not gonna act like it's something different. Damn, I want that Lamborghini. So property taxes are so expensive. My property tax is 3.4% of my purchase price, right? I'm not gonna tell you what I pay for my house, but my taxes after homestead exemption is $17,000 a year. My taxes per month are the same as my mortgage. That's freaking crazy, man. So those are my 5 reasons why right now I just can't stand Texas. And if my goal is to there's this 5 acres of land in Florida that I want to buy, but I have to wait for the price to go down, and I have to borrow money from my parents and my fiance why I have my house to buy the land, and then I can sell my house and rent, whether it's in Florida or here, until my house is done being built on that land. So that's the goal. My dad, unfortunately, he's just oh, you made me move here. I don't want to move back unless something. I'm like, listen, my goal is to prepare you guys for retirement, whether it's here or there. It doesn't matter. Like, if you have to move again, you have to move again. That's just what it is. I gave you guys a way to retire, because if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have sold their house. They would have sold their house at the wrong time. My dad sold my grandma's house, and if he waited just another year, would have made $100,000 on it. So they listened to me, they succeeded, they made the money that they need. Now they need to save their money and be able to make money in order to overcome losses or expenses. So my mom doesn't work right now, my dad barely has any jobs, so they need to get jobs. I don't even care if it's part-time jobs in order to sustain the money that I need to help them retire. So I'm Jake. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, share the video. I made other videos that I just haven't uploaded yet, just because I've been here and there. You know, I've been back on camera a little bit, but just trying my best. So take care, guys.